Hey guys, welcome to our random Tuesday Paintapalooza. Every now and then on a Tuesday, we decide, hey, let's hang out with our friends in the afternoon. We'll paint some stuff. I got myself a little caffeinated beverage here, and we are working on just really cleaning out our garage. I have a project from the barn. We actually, you would be surprised to know, we probably have less than maybe a dozen projects in the garage. We've really been making progress. We started this morning. If you guys are channel members, make sure to hit up community because we actually went live for an hour or so this morning and finished up some projects that we have a few more things to tidy up from that we'll do in this live. But we're doing pretty good. And I'm also like spring cleaning my house. So
yeah, we got like 6 projects here, but 37 at the shop. So don't worry, we have
some stuff in the basement. So we're going to keep painting. Just to give you an idea what I'm doing, these are feet for my sofa. Zeb pulled out the screw that screws them to the sofa, and then he filled them with Bondo for me and sanded them. So I'm just going to make mini pedestals. I'm going to paint the top dark to match the base. And then we'll do some milk paint, and Zeb's working on
that was Harrington's old sofa. I moved it like 4 times with him, and we had to take the feet off to get it through any doors, and he just left the feet off everywhere we took it, and I kept the feet. Hey. The sofa has since been taken to the dump because his cats lived on it, and he was like, yeah, I'm not moving that again.
But we saved the feet. And then Zeb's working on clocks. What are you going to do with those while I get started on this?
We were discussing this. Everybody has always like, hey, don't paint over the red, paint more red. We love red. We want to see red. This has been on the website for a month and a half or so.
Nobody bought it.
No one's bought it. It's getting painted. This one has just been waiting for me to bend it straight and paint it. And it actually has a burgundy red face. And I was like, Jamie, what? And it's like burgundy and silver. I'm like, we need like a cool tone. She's like, just paint it Pacific. I'm like, oh, yes, I'll just paint it Pacific.
A little red, white, and blue.
This one's going blue.
And I'm just using Cottage color and Anvil because it has a built-in sealer. And that way I can do milk paint over the top of it. And Zeb's just dropping stuff.
It's okay. So I'm going to get a coat on this. And then I also have this fun, I don't even know what to call this. It's the whole thing's getting painted, but we are leaving the inside in it. We like the decorative detail in there. Need to stir this.
A lot of times it's the price, not the color. That is true. But that will probably cost us easily.
I mean, I'm going to paint it now, and the price isn't changing.
Yeah,
and I bet it'll sell.
Cost more than $100 more than our website will charge to ship. So that's part of the price when we're selling online. We did sell some big art in the shop this morning, so that's good. Zeb's hot air balloon print that sold, and then we added a piece of art. So if you guys watched last Saturday, we had that antique mirror frame that was just the frame, and we put art in it. I forgot. I already took it to the shop. So let me see if I can find the listing for it and show it to you on my phone. You can also look it up on the website. Oh, Ivy must be busy drafting stuff. Okay. Let's see if I can look it up. There we go. So if you guys have an old mirror frame that you need an idea for.
Do you need me to go show it close?
Hold on.
Because of your T-Rex arms.
Are you saying I have short arms?
Yeah, they are short.
I can go around. So this is what we did on our channel member live. Can you guys see that? Oops. If you want to see it on the website, you can check it out there too. So we just took that antique mirror frame. Zeb printed out a giant canvas, and we put it inside of there and just used it as a picture frame.
I think I can almost get away with one coat of Provincial on this.
Can I use Minwax over Oh, now we're okay. Pacific. Sorry, blurry for a second. Can I use Minwax over DIY paint to seal it? It depends on what Minwax you're talking about. Make sure everything you use is water-based, and you're good to go. If it's oil-based, then it could yellow. All right, done with this. I'm just gonna put this in my little baggie. Short arms match my little short body. I am 5'5.5". The average woman is 5'6".
She went around telling everybody she was 5'4" most of her life, and then we measured her the other day, and she's 5'5.5".
I think I grew an inch in high school is what happened.
She's
I didn't
never
realize
bothered to
it.
measure herself very much. She got one physical to play tennis, and then that
And
was
I
like
never bothered to get measured again.
that's what they did. And plus, I don't trust the doctors measuring.
Well, you don't trust them because they say you're 6'1" and clearly you're 6'2".
They've never said I'm 6'1". I don't know where you're getting that. You've never been with me in the doctor where they say I'm 6'1".
We'll measure you after a while.
Don't steal an inch away.
Well, maybe it was when you had hair.
No, I've never had hair.
That is true. You've been
Even in high school, I shaved my head when I played football because I didn't like it in my helmet.
getting all the excess paint off the edge. And I'm going to heat gun these real quick and then mix up some milk paint. Caitlin says it doesn't seem like I'm 2 inches taller than her because she's 5'3". We can see next time we're
Odelia's
together.
5'3".
I feel like I'm a lot taller.
I measured
than you.
Odelia, and everybody was saying she was 5'2". She's 5'3". Maybe it's my old measuring stick.
Caitlin, maybe you're actually 5'4".
Yeah, it's time to remeasure, folks. Don't trust the doctor's office.
I don't trust the doctor's scales.
Okay, I'm taking this outside. We're going to let that dry. Oops, got a drip on the inside there. And then I will get started on my other one. I'm
going to be using Sweetie Jane milk paint. Deb, it's kind of dark. Do we want to fix the camera? The milk paint color.
It's probably because it's picking up this bright sunlight back here.
The milk paint color of the month is Ocean, and that one is 35% off.
Maybe you just need to change the opacity on the camera there.
Do we look dark or do we look okay?
It looks fine up here. That is dim.
My screen?
Your screen is dim.
Oh, well, I'm not worried what I look like to me. Yeah, the camera is going blurry on and off because I went close to the camera, but it should be okay now. Just trying to focus on things. So I'm just drying this off, then we'll mix up some milk paint and then see if we can get some chippy. They said it's dark, so can you lighten it just a little bit manually?
I'll have to manually adjust it.
I'll watch it here.
It's going to go bright for a second.
Oh, that's way bright. So hold on, guys. That's good. Right there.
It's because of the back.
Yeah, it makes the ray of light really bright, but that's all right. Nope, now it's dark again.
I'm just still messing with it.
Hold, please. That's good. That's
what you're gonna
better.
get.
Okay, now you gotta widen the screen.
Oh, it changed it.
All us fussy women saying, that is so much better. Thank you. Nancy says she just checked out the frame and the pastoral online is very nice. Thanks. Blanca says that's better. All right,
Okay.
Blanca. Okay, so Robin wanted to know what these are. These are feet to a sofa. Zeb was telling a story about how Harrington had to move the sofa a billion times. They finally pitched it because he had a little kitty, but Zeb kept the feet. And all he did was take out the screw in the middle and then Bondo and sand the top. And I just painted the top dark because this is the top, like the side facing the couch. So it's all natural wood. And I'm going to put milk paint over the top and make little like pedestals where people could put like they could put a candlestick. You could put a little bird's nest, whatever. I'm just going to make a little decorative pedestal.
Right,
so you can kind of see what they originally look like here. I may paint the underside, maybe not.
I'm going to do something here. I've got a little bit of plum pudding and a little bit of anvil left, and I'm going to mix some of the anvil to deepen up the plum pudding. So I'll show you beforehand. Oh, did we get really dark? What's happening? Now we're really dark.
Oh, gosh.
I can't be responsible for what's happening with the sunlight coming through the...
It's the thing back there. Yeah, now we're really dark.
There we go. Now I brought something up close and it likes it. Okay. Plum pudding, anvil. I'm going to darken up the plum pudding. With some anvil. Hopefully, am I blocking that back there? If I block this sunlight, it'll be okay.
It's because we have the camera doesn't know where to focus. And we have a, what's that called? Skylight?
The skylight is messing things up.
All right. Put a little Sweetie Jane in here. I'm going to add some warm water. This is not the milk paint color of the month, but the milk paint color of the month is very pretty, and it's Ocean. So you might want to order that. Put a sheet over the window. Well, unfortunately, the window is on the roof.
Yeah.
So that might be a little problematic. Okay. Leanne wants to know what milk paint is. Hold on. I gotta swallow my ice so I don't chew it in my mic. Milk paint is a natural product. It's been made this way for a really long time. It has milk casein in it and pigments, and it comes in a powder form. It's true milk paint, and it will give you variation in tone and crackling and look like an old paint finish. You can buy Farmhouse Finishes, which has a built-in bond, or you can use just straight up milk paint like this, and it will chip off. If you don't want it to chip, you can just add bond to it. All right, and you can also mix it up with an immersion blender. It pretty much lasts indefinitely till you add water to it. Once you mix it up, you have a few hours to use up your paint. You do 1 part milk paint to 1 part warm water. So mix the milk paint with warm water, yes. If you use warm water, it's gonna mix a lot better. And if you make it a little thinner than you like this is thinner than I want, I can always add more milk paint to it and change the consistency. It's best if you just use like 1 scoop that's the same size and do 1 part, but I always eyeball it.
Might go moody with this and dark wax it because it also has like crackle in the original paint finish, and that should come through.
So you mixed anvil and plum pudding?
Yeah, just a little bit of anvil.
It looks gray.
It is kind of a grayish purple now.
But you're gonna get on.
It's still purple.
If you don't want it to chip off, order Farmhouse Finishes or buy the bond and add the bond to it. I want it to be chippy. I'm giving it a little extra stir job. And I know I can use an immersion blender. I know where my immersion blender is, but I'm using a fork.
Sometimes it's just an extra thing to clean.
Well, I made this much milk paint. So to put that immersion blender in this cup, it'll make a big mess and it's not worth it. And it doesn't take much milk paint to paint little things like this. And you could do, like if you were wanting to paint like this amount of items, you could do this with a sample of milk paint. I need a brush. Do we have any clean brushes or have you used them all?
I've used them all.
Okay. Do you need this anvil one back? I'll clean the one that we have. One? We have one in here soaking I can wash off from when we were painting earlier. Might take me a minute. All right, Zeb, you're going to have to keep the conversation going while I'm
all right. Well, right now, so they made this kind of like a huge pocket watch. And this is, I'm really having to jab the paint down in there to get that on this part here. Don't be afraid to just jab at it. I didn't darken it up a whole ton, but the plum pudding, depending on the lighting, it's like a really kind of sophisticated purple. It can, depending on what lighting you see it in, it's going to pull like a deep purple or it's going to look gray in some lighting. And if it's real dim, it can even look like really dark gray.
This brush had salt wash and anvil on it, which is black, so it's going to take me a hot minute to scrub all the paint off of it.
And I may dark wax it. I'm serious about that. I might dark wax this and moody it up because the face is pretty bright. The face of this clock. I'll show it to you in a second.
And you can't use chalk paint with it? I'm not sure what Blanca's question is. I don't know why you'd want to use chalk paint with the milk paint. You can use it underneath. Like you could use chalk paint underneath it. Can you get them to talk about tung oil or food grade oils for the rolling pins? So you can use tung oil, or
I actually
you can
have
use
some out. I just used some on a rolling
oil.
pin. Ours is all gross and crusty because I've used it a lot.
Tung oil dries harder than the hemp oil, so we use it a lot. And you can also take milk paint, which is also food safe, and make like a faux stain and then seal it with a tung oil. And I've also been known to take the hemp oil and just shake it up with milk paint in it and make my own tinted hemp oil to stain stuff. We have a whole video, and if you look up Jamie Ray Vintage Food Safe Paint, the video should pop up and tell you how we did it with the hemp oil. The tung oil is newer, so I don't think we have a video on it, but it is also food safe. If you have any other questions, let me know. All right, so this is Sweetie Jane. It's going to take a couple of coats. As soon as I get this on here, I'll heat it up with the heat gun, which will also make it chip. Oh, you're good, Blanca. You can ask questions all you want. I just always like to ask some qualifying questions of what you're asking just to make sure I'm giving you the right response. But yeah, you can do a base coat of chalk paint. I like to use the Cottage color as a base coat because it has a built-in sealer. So that kind of creates a barrier between it and the milk paint. If you just use a regular like DIY paint or traditional chalk paint that's super matte and doesn't have a built-in sealer, then you might want to put a coat of sealer between it and the milk paint.
So I titled this video like things we haven't been getting to. Some of these things, like this clock, didn't. I think I had it in the shop for a minute, but then I pulled it back out because I didn't realize that the hand was bent on it somehow. But it never came off the website. And now it's just been sitting in the garage. Same with the other clock. It just needed dented out. These have been kicking around in the barn for what, like 2 years?
Well, Harrington moved out a year ago. So
well, they were in there before he moved out.
Yeah. Well, I was going to put them on a piece of furniture, and then I was like, you know what? Those make really great pedestals. Biggie says, both by Sweet Pickens. Yes. So you can use Sweet Pickens paint, and then you can use the tung oil over the top of it, and it would be food safe. The paint is USDA bio-certified. Honestly, if DIY paint probably got tested, it might be too, but it's very expensive to get the certification. Sweet Pickens milk paint used to be old-fashioned milk paint, and old-fashioned milk paint has been around for a really, really long time and is a really quite large company. These are not on the website yet. I think Zeb's clock already is. These I'll get up later today. We did the cutest little, like, I don't know if you call it a tote, but little container for, like, you can put in the middle of your dining table or on top of a shelf. And I put canning jars in it and used the vegetables from Millet's pages on it. I posted on Facebook the picture of it. It turned out really cute. It was a project that used to say Ray Canning Company, and I had decorated with it forever, and I sanded that off and then just put the transfer on.
That sun's doing good work out there. That blue clock is just about dry.
Okay. I'm going to heat gun this. Hopefully it doesn't all chip off when I heat gun it. Yeah, the top coat by Sweet Pickens, the one that comes in this bottle, is not bio-certified, and it is not completely no VOC, so keep that in mind. But the tung oil and the hemp oil are bio-certified. Hey, Deborah from the UK. How's the weather over there? Have you guys had to get out your boats yet? They've had so much rain this spring. Every boot sale that I follow has had like cancellations online. Oh, Tammy got her spoon hung from last week, and it looks great. I'm glad it arrived alive. Zeb's repair held up. Just don't spank your husband on the butt the way that I did.
No papows.
Shelly says she loves the antique sign that we picked up from the
we got to
estate
hang
sale.
that.
We got to hang that. Maybe we can put that also in the video for Thursday.
We'll see. We can't put everything in the video for Thursday.
Yeah. It depends on how much we get done.
Jamie has like 8 ideas for Thursday's video.
Hey, I have high hopes for that video. So sometimes just heat gunning your paint can get it to crackle, this milk paint, and chip. So keep that in mind. If you don't want it to crackle and chip, if you use a heat gun, it may be crazy crackle and chippy. It rained all day long, debating on using wood to renovate or build a boat. She's talking about the UK. Where in the UK are you? Are you in England? Are you in Wales? Are you in Scotland? Northern Ireland? It's 84 degrees in Michigan, not common for May. It is like 65 and windy probably outside. I was outside talking to the neighbor next to the shop, and me and Angie were both talking about how cold it was all of a sudden. Like I really wanted a sweatshirt. And yesterday it was chilly too. I had to have my jacket on.
Perfect.
See you later, Caitlin. She's got to go leave and pick up
the weather
her son from school. I'll try to monitor the comments and drop links as I paint. We were supposed to go live like way earlier, but
we had to run some errands.
We ran some errands, had to go by FedEx. We have a pickup for UPS, but FedEx, we don't have a scheduled pickup because we don't always have FedEx packages. So we had to go drop that off. Sometimes FedEx is like half the price of UPS, so it's worth it if we have 3 or 4 packages to make a little trip into town. Northeast UK, 13 degrees. Is that 13 degrees Celsius? Yeah. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. My mom's coming home today. Zeb's parents are hanging out with his brother Ty for a few days while he's off work. So they'll be gone for a few days. We're going to try to get lots of projects done. Not that we can't work while they're here, but there are some things that are hard to do when you have people staring at you. Our kids mostly do their own thing.
The parents are pretty good about pitching in and helping, but I don't want to like work them to death while they're here.
That is true.
Because I could. I got projects for days.
Well, and some things aren't things that other people can really do. My mother-in-law, Zeb's mom, Doreen, yesterday, what she did is she organized all the little tchotchkes in those drawers I thrifted. And Zeb was supposed to slow pan that so you could see it, but he missed out.
The slow pan's in the reel.
Yeah, it's not that slow though. But I took pictures of every drawer. So on Saturday, when that goes live, you'll be able to see all the things that came in. The little tiny ducks and a little Santa and little bells and just lots of little tchotchkes in that drawer thing that we bought. Okay. Everybody's talking about weather. Weather.
All right. So this, now that I've got this out, oh, that's an insert. That's plastic, such thin plastic. All right, let me show you. Like, this is not great. It's just not.
So what are you going to keep the medallion or?
And then this is pretty cool. I don't know. Should I put art in there or leave this?
What? I think you should leave that because that's what I was planning on. But you can do what you want.
Fun to paint. Okay.
You want me to gold wax these? We'll see what they look like. I kind of want them to just be like chippy. See how we get.
All right. I think I'm going to go with some Pacific. We're going to do the Pacific theme.
I'm not going to worry about full coverage on the bottom, but I am just going to paint them so they're a little neater. I'll dry them and then flip them over. Cynthia Fisher says to leave it in there.
Okay, Cynthia, I'll do it.
It's raining in Wisconsin.
It was sprinkling here this morning. That's over that. Now it's sunny. No rain, though, like just a light sprinkle.
She's doing no mow May, and their grass is a foot long.
No mow May. I hope you have a serious mower.
I like my grass to be short, like a.
She wants it to look like a putting green.
Like a putting green, it doesn't. But we do keep. Zeb has been.
She's always grumpy about it, and I never cut it as short as she wants because I don't like it that short.
But I mow the lawn at the shop. Zeb does the weed whacking. The lawn at the shop is mowed by a riding lawnmower, which is harder to mess up than the push mower. And Zeb doesn't like the way I use the push mower, so because I mow it too short.
It's not that I don't like it.
You also don't like the way I drive.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is fine because I don't like to drive.
It's like once a year I ride and you drive, it seems. And every time you drive, I'm like, is this what it's like all the time for you?
Smaller paintbrush to sell with your paints. We sell zebra brushes. They're kind of a middle of the road.
We also have the turquoise Irish, like artist type brushes.
But you might look into zebra. They're not as high end as the DIY or the Klingons, but they are good sellers for us. We've been selling their products for a long time.
They're good brush.
They're good brush, especially
if you're just getting into painting or you just need like a good all around synthetic bristle to do what you're doing, they're great.
All right, I'm just getting this dry on here so I can flip it over and paint the other side. They're under tornado watch in southern Minnesota. We had tornadoes here once, like up north, kind of by Farmington.
They happen every few years.
Not super common. We don't really have tornadoes, or we definitely don't have. What's the other thing? Hurricanes. So
no hurricanes. No,
we get snow.
We're like 700 miles from the coast.
And we get snow, but not like, typically not crazy snow, no ice storms, things like that.
This is double layered. I'm having to like fish the brush down underneath.
All right, 2 coats looks like it's going to give me full coverage on this milk paint. The first coat with milk paint is always ugly, so don't freak out. Sometimes you need more, like if it's a lighter color, like if you're doing white, you might do up to 4 coats. It just is what it is. My pro tip, if you're going to do white milk paint, is to make your first coat a little bit thicker, put less water in it, and then do thinner coats on your subsequent coats. Or if you don't mind, if you get more of a texture, you can put DIY paint down first and then put milk paint over top of it. It doesn't always chip as much when you do that. But.
That one's done. I'm going to go set that outside to dry. It's going to need a second coat. It's got a couple little streaky spots.
These are already looking really cute. Hi, Wei. She says, good afternoon. I got my orders now. I can wait to use your stencils and paints. I can't wait to see what you do. Did you get the stencil that had the lions on it? I know how much you love lions. Junk in her trunk, Diana K says, we also get a million mosquitoes. We do have mosquitoes here because we have a lake not that far from us, but they're usually not too bad. And the city will come and spray. They'll like do a mosquito abatement and then they go away and they don't really come back. But we don't have bugs here like they have in the South. Like I feel like all my Southern friends, your mom, the other day was like, do not complain about bugs. You don't even know what bugs are. I feel like the people in Australia really know about bugs, or maybe they just glamorize them online, but you've seen those pictures of those giant bugs.
They have huge bugs over there.
I am always surprised at the sheer volume of like spiders. I remember when we went to Tennessee, we stayed at this Airbnb, and to get into the Airbnb, you had to pass the like tunnel of death. All these spiders and spider webs, especially at night. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die.
It wasn't that bad.
It was bad.
They were all up in the corners of the porch.
All right. I still mixed up. I'd say that's just about perfect. I have like that much in the bottom. They're pretty good. Screen is dark. She might be in the beginning, Cindy might, because it's pretty good right now. I'm not mowing here in Tennessee because of the cicadas. When mowing this, they swarm you and they're also deafening. Oh, that's scary. We have cicadas here, but not quite that crazy.
The trees are too far apart for them to be deafening.
Chris says, come back to Tennessee. We might. Zeb's parents live in Alabama, and the cheapest flights are actually into Nashville. So we were going to go for Christmas this last year, but Eliza wound up having cheer practice, and we couldn't go. But we really do want to get out there and visit. We need to find, they don't have a ton of space there, so we need to find like an Airbnb or somewhere we can stay. What is that, the color Pacific?
This is Pacific. Yeah, it's like a good navy color.
If you want to make it even darker, you can add black to it, but just a little bit.
Yeah, just add a little bit of anvil and it'll blacken it up.
Oh, Wei did get the lion stencil. Sweet. I actually thought about you when we were designing that. I'm like, oh, she's going to love it. Where in Alabama? Outside of Birmingham.
They're about, I think they're an hour
minutes?
Southeast of Birmingham,
Yeah.
45 minutes, somewhere in there.
For privacy's sake, we're not going to share the exact town, but yeah, outside of a Birmingham area. They live in the middle of nowhere. They say it's not the middle of nowhere because they're 5 minutes from Piggly Wiggly, but they're like half an hour from Costco. So that's, for us, that's the middle of nowhere.
I got off-grid property that's only half hour from Costco.
Your off-grid property is 15 minutes from Costco. And
Oh, I got two properties that are within half an hour of Costco. The one has a road onto it, kind of. The other one has no road yet. That's waiting on the tractor to get fixed. It's in the shop. They got parts ordered. Hopefully they'll have it back together first of the week. They're hustling for me. They're doing their best to get us back working. My dad will probably be gone by the time we get it back, but I got other projects he can do.
It's okay because I'm good at tractor work.
Yeah, and we so what happened is the front differential went out. So when I try to kick it into four-wheel drive, it just grinds and seizes up and won't go. So we've been trying to use it in four-wheel drive, but I didn't have my tires weighted or any other kind of counterweight on there. And so it just spun out when you tried to drag the box blade, which is primarily what I'm using to make the road.
Yeah, we need that box blade. The property we're going to work on next is our 5 acres that we're going to list. And we're going to be putting a road on it and then a camping pad, and then we'll get that one listed.
I have a couple. So that one's a flip property, the 5 acres, and I have to buy more or pay a ton of taxes. So I've got I got to find another piece to.
Oh,
to
darn,
flip.
you have to buy more.
I know,
Zeb
right?
fancies himself a land investor.
If I really hustle, I could probably flip 2 properties this summer. And that's how it grows. And then suddenly you got a little business going.
Telling you that we also need to enjoy our kids this summer, not just work.
I think they need to work with me. That's what I did. That's how I grew up.
Okay, so anything shiny that you're using milk paint with, do you prime, but do you use DIY paint on shiny, no prime? So you can paint milk paint on something shiny, just add some bond to it, or just lightly scuff sand it. If you use DIY paint, you can use DIY paint, then milk paint like over the top. Oh, hey, thanks for that super chat, Way. She says we make the best stencils. I think so too. Leva says she just finished watching a 3.5-hour painting live from a year ago.
Oh.
Wow, we haven't done that in a while.
We don't do those super often, the 3.5-hour ones. Depends on what we got to get done.
Yeah, we got to start earlier.
So this is probably looking gray on camera. I'll bring it close so you can appreciate.
It's looking a little plum.
The plumliness of it.
The plumliness? Did you just make that word up?
Sure did. Felt like the right thing to do.
Okay, so I'm going to use a damp rag. Now, you just be aware that if you do this, you can make it chip uncontrollably.
I'm going to stop that so it doesn't just ring and ring and ring.
And I'm just going to wet distress it and pull back some of that dark. Do you guys see the dark? And it's also starting to chip a little bit. They're going to look old and crusty, which is what we want. And I'll have Zeb zoom in on them so you guys can see the crusty old goodness. I'm probably not going to heat gun them again because I don't want the paint to all chip off. We'll see. I might heat gun the tops. Hey, Sandy from Australia. We were just talking about the bugs. I guess you can tell us if it's true or not. Do you guys have giant bugs there? Or do they just like to scare us Americans to keep us away from Australia?
I mean, currently the flight's keeping me away.
Yeah, it's a long flight.
It's like a 22-hour flight from Utah.
All right. These are actually really cool. I'll show them to you up close here in a minute. It says the wet distress dies. Hopefully they don't die. Just hit them with a little heat gun. All right, somebody asked if I was going to put transfer on these. I'm not. We're just going to keep them looking like old salvage. All I'm going to do is clear wax them. And this is really indicative of what you can expect from milk paint, the chipping, the crackle. If you want to, you can use sandpaper on them and they'll get like buttery smooth. Let me bring this up close to you. Can you see that? All the crackle. I'm sorry, now it's going to get dark because I'm... Anyways, these turned out really cool. All right, let me make sure I didn't mess up the camera.
You need to go grab a candle so you can show them your intention.
Oh, okay. Now it's dark again. Did you guys see that? What these are probably going to be like, I don't know, for a pedestal this size, like 18 each. I'll get them listed after the live video. Do you have to wax after milk paint? That's a good question. So I will wax these because I'm selling them. If I was keeping them for myself, I wouldn't bother. The reason why you need to wax them is because if they get wet, they will chip off more, but I personally don't mind the look of them like this. And I know what happens if I get them wet. Like I have I actually have 2 pieces of furniture in my family room that I just milk painted and left. I'm not a big furniture scrubber, so I just dry dust them and move on with my life. But you should clear wax them.
Best practice is to clear wax.
Best practice. Let's see if we have any clear wax is the question. I might, okay. They're not too chippy, so I probably could use that top coat over there. I'm not sure. Do you have clear wax there?
I don't have the clear wax out. It is over there. You're just going to have to dig.
Oh gosh, that's almost empty.
There should be 2 of them.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to haul this back outside as soon as Jamie gets back. I'm debating on whether to paint this with crockery and then bring this gold back through so it looks more like a painted plaster type finish. And then I can touch up the gold with some golden rule or some golden ticket.
Oh, I have a little sample.
I'm in the air.
I have a little sample of beeswax I'm going to use. Did you need something else from over here?
Not right now.
Okay. Oh, this is what I was going to grab. Big fat candle.
Okay. I'm going to go set this out to dry. When I bring it back, I'm going to show you. There's not a ton of difference between the lid and what's on here. It's just a little deeper, little richer tone.
Okay, so Sandra says her bugs are not too scary. Probably just like the American bugs, just need to be aware and careful. Good to know. All right, so this is what it would look like with one of our beeswax candles. This is our taller one, but just to give you an idea. And I have a little teeny tiny sample from a craft kit of clear beeswax because I don't know where our big DIY wax is. I'm gonna dip this in here. Just gonna seal these up.
Okay, that's
You
I
could
basically
put
put 1.5 coats on there. It was pretty much full coverage on the first
1.5.
coat.
What the heck is 1.5, Seb?
Just a little touch-up coat.
A little half coat where they're streaky in a few spots.
Yep. I'll get to that in a minute. I'm gonna get a second coat on here and get this stuff drying.
So there is a spot where it chipped through the cottage color and anvil because it was pretty fresh, but it looks like the cottage color and anvil stayed everywhere else. And that's why I painted the top, because I wanted that dark to show through and not show off the natural wood.
So this was like a cardboard paper mat that had like a shiny sheen finish to it, and it painted up pretty good. The moisture from the paint has like bowed it a little bit. I think once I get it back in the frame, you won't really see that or notice it.
These would look cute with like a little cloche on the top too. I have the hardest time finding cloches like secondhand. Oh, okay. Now it's really bright. Zeb, can you fix the camera?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, we've been on half an hour, so Zeb's fixing it. Well, no longer than that, but it's been half an hour since we fixed the camera last. Yeah, I do have low iron. I don't know if that's why I chew ice. I've been chewing ice my whole life, but I am anemic. I take an iron supplement. My iron, the last time I had it checked, was in the teens, which is not great. Which is occasionally if I sound like I'm out of breath. That is why. Yeah, Leslie, these are little risers I'm working on. They were bun feet. Well, this one's getting real chippy over here. I like that. They were bun feet, and I just paint them up to look like old pedestals. And I used milk paint. They're all chippy and delicious. And in real life, you can really see the crackle on these. And even if you use like a crackle additive, like under chalk paint or DIY paint, the random chippy crackle just doesn't happen the same as it does with milk paint. You got to be okay with not knowing, like, see how this is like way more chippy than this is. I did the same technique. You got to be okay with irregularities, or otherwise don't use milk paint. The other thing about milk paint is you'll get the chips of paint in your wax. So now this is officially a milk paint wax.
I decided that this gold wasn't my favorite. It looked more like a bronzy brass.
So we're going over with a different metallic.
So I'm going to go copper and dark wax it, and then I will gold over that. And then I think the navy will contrast with everything, the Pacific, if you're looking for it on the website.
All right. Now my little risers are done. So if you guys are just tuning in, these were already dark on the bottom, but the tops were natural wood. So I used DIY cottage color and anvil just to kind of make them match. So that way the chippy would not show the natural wood. And then I just used Sweetie Jane, and then I sealed them up with clear beeswax. And you can find all of those products on JamieRayVintage.com. And if you give me half an hour after this live video, I'll get these all listed.
Those are cool.
Yeah, I'm going to work on.
And they look good with that yellow beeswax wax candle.
Yeah, they do. I'm going to work on finishing up our projects from our channel member live this morning.
Okay, yeah, they're over there.
Let's see what we're going to do. I don't think I have enough milk paint to paint this one. I might just finish them up just like that other candlestick we were working on. So if you guys are channel members, be sure to go to community because we did our paid channel member live this morning. And these are some of the projects we didn't quite get finished on that. I'm just going to grab, do we have sandpaper?
I don't know if we have sandpaper out.
Oh, here it is. What Zeb got? Zeb is working. This was from last week.
Yeah.
Just a little medallion situation. It's got a frame. What color are you going to do the frame?
The frame, I am going to go, I think I'm going to do a crockery and then bring back a lot of the gold and then gold wax over it. I want it to look like it's like plaster that started to chip. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So this was anvil with salt wash and then crockery over it. And I'm just sanding off the salt wash, kind of making it look a little chippy. And then I think I'm going to gold wax it. And then we wet distressed a candlestick earlier, but these, I'll show you that one. These dried all the way. So wet distressing isn't going to happen.
Yeah, no
now.
wet distress for you. Those ones have been.
This is the candlestick we finished earlier and it's got gold on it. It's a little metallic-y. That's what I'm doing on these.
Okay, so there's this is like a little plastic piece and I just painted it with the copper patina. It's called Pennies from Heaven. We'll take it outside, let it dry. It's definitely going to need a second coat. But once we get the second coat on here, that copper really should be nice and solid, and then I can dark wax it and age it how I want.
I'm just painting the bottom of this because it's a little bit messy. Emma, you missed this morning's video. You should check it out. We did a really fun box, and then Zeb did that big antique frame that we had from Saturday's haul, and he put a print in it. And then we, of course, did these.
Okay, I think it's time to put this clock back together. I don't know, should I distress this and bring some of the gray back? It's probably going to get, it's metal, so the gray paint had scratches on it.
I think you could lightly distress it. It's fine.
Okay, I'll have to steal that from you.
Well, it's going to be a minute because this is not easy to distress because that Cottage color sealer is dry because I put it outside. They really, it's doing its work.
It's okay. I don't need it right away. I can,
all right, can you guys see
wash this glass.
Detail on that? Just a little bit of texture from the salt wash. Looks kind of like old pottery. And I might put some metallics on this. Haven't decided. I kind of actually think this one I'm just going to dark wax. Oops, sorry about my ring. These ones I think will get gold. Actually, how about I give you this? Are you going to clean that?
Yep.
I need elbow grease.
Here, why don't you wash this and I'll scrub those.
Deal. That one especially. It looks kind of like a warty pumpkin. I may have gone a little crazy with the salt wash.
Nothing wrong with a warty pumpkin look.
Yeah, but I want it to be a little bit smoother than that because they need to look like a set. On the pedestals, I use Sweet Pickins, Milk Paint, and Sweetie Jane. If you wanted to paint that color and you did not want to use milk paint, you could also use our Cottage color in Americana. Is close. It's just not quite as blue as that color, but it's similar. I'll drop a link to the milk paint here in a little bit. I've been trying to use milk paint more on live videos because people are like, you never use milk paint. And we have used it a ton. Just don't usually use it on live.
Like in older videos.
Zeb, there's like a scratch in this glass.
Oh no, nothing I can do about it. I'm just gonna have to live with it.
All right, well, it's clean now. I'm going to put it on the couch. Okay, let me drop the link for the Sweetie Jane. Sweetie Jane, Sweaty Jane. Oh, that's the funniest thing I've seen all day.
So the salt wash on here is not really coming off either because it's also dried rock hard. That's kind of one of the things, like when you use salt wash, especially over, because this was a shiny metallic surface when we painted it earlier today. And I'm having to sand pretty hard. I'm pushing very hard on here to even distress a little bit over the lumpy parts.
So we had a good question from Cindy. She said, did you paint the box you did or just add transfer? So the box she's talking about is the one I just posted on Facebook. It's also listed under Thrift Flips and Thrift Finds. And I did paint that a long time ago. I did the old and gray patina with a white dry brush. And I had stenciled on it. So all I did was sand it off the stencil, which kind of distressed through the gray patina. And then I wiped it down and I put the Malot's Pages transfer and then I just sealed it. So I did not paint it today, but originally I took raw wood and did gray patina with a white dry brush, which gives you a really great barnwood kind of look. All right, I'm just gonna chunk off some of this then.
I think it's fine.
No,
this other one has some chunkies on the bottom.
It's okay. Gives it a little extra oomph. I don't need a manicure anyways. It makes it kind of look like chippy paint when I chunk it off with my fingernail.
All right, now that I've distressed it down to the anvil, I'm able to just wet distress it just a little bit.
You want to try to do that on this one too?
Yeah.
Now my question is, do you want to do, let me chunk this off too. Like if you waited more than a day to do what I'm doing with my fingernail now with the salt wash, that would not work. But we did just paint these today. Do we want to put gold or just want to leave them as is? I kind of like these as is. This one, the other one I put gold on, but that has more detail.
Did you show them that?
Yeah. Let me show them up close. Glamour shot. All right, do you guys see the gold on that? See how it's kind of shiny? Then down here on the bottom. I don't know if the camera's picking that up. But this has more detail. These are a little bit more masculine looking. Now it's dark. Hopefully it'll get light again.
It will when she come back around. Okay.
Right, see if you can get some more of the chunks off of that.
No. I like them.
All right. These are done. I think I'm just going to leave them like this because the texture's good. They're like a good neutral base, and now they're a match set.
Changed my mind on the crockery. We're going to go provincial.
And they're out of the garage, which is also a win. Now I'm going to come dark wax these. Do you have a dark wax brush there handy?
Yeah, it's a big one over here on the side over by the tongue oil. I'm going to need to wash one of my brushes, I think.
Yeah, especially this one because it's got patina on it.
Oh, that one I'm going to use in just a second. It'll be all right.
Do you have to prime it to use that color on a cupboard? Which color are you talking about? If you're talking about Sweetie Jane, the milk paint, I would say yes. And if it's a kitchen cupboard, I always suggest using primer no matter what paint you're using because those are high use items that you're scrubbing a lot that may or may not have grease on it. So if I were to redo my kitchen cabinets today, I would probably do Salvation Solution primer first and then a Cottage color because I have a built-in top coat. And I probably would leave it at that. Just do like 2 or 3 coats of Cottage color as a built-in sealer, good to go. We're going to be doing some cabinetry probably in the Cottage. So we'll try some stuff out there. So I'm just using dark wax. This is not the one I want. And this Cottage color has a built-in sealer, so it gives you a little bit of a resist. But if you think, oh, you know what, that's a little dark, I don't really want that, you can come back with clear wax. And you can almost use that clear wax like an eraser to pull that back. So if you ever get something too dark waxy, you don't like it, then you can just pull it back with clear wax. And if I was using regular DIY paint, I would do a coat of clear wax before I even dark wax because that's really matte and it just gets really yucky and hard to control. How long have y'all been doing this type of work?
Oh.
Well, we've been painting stuff all of our married lives. Zeb has been with me full time for 9 years.
9 years.
And I did it a few years before that, part time. Maybe even more than a few years, but.
You were doing it when Eliza was born.
Yeah.
Eliza is 15 now.
That is true.
Like you were doing it and selling things when Eliza was born.
As we do it now with both of us, it's been 9 years. It's kind of evolved over time. Can you use Salvation Solution over latex paint? Yes. Yes, you can. I'm just adding a little clear wax to kind of pull back some of this black. We've got a little dirty wax looking for me. Do you guys recall this pot was like splattered? I don't even know how to. It's not great. Now it's just going to look like old pottery. You can use a lint-free rag. I just happen to have a paper towel handy. Should I add a little gold wax to this, you think, or you think it's good?
I don't know. I like gold wax on everything. I'm going to be gold waxing this. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting a base coat of Provincial, which is like a taupey, almost like cement, pottery type look. And then once that dries, I'm probably going to do 2 coats on it. It's got quite a bit of detail. Then I'll come back. I might wet distress some of this back because the gold's not all bad. I just don't, it looks kind of more brassy to me.
It's kind of orangey.
So I'm gonna get rid of that. We're gonna go back with some more gold, might do some dark wax. It's a whole thing. If you find a frame you like, you can just, run with it. You don't have to go crazy. But sometimes, like this is a foam frame that was made to kind of look like an older style. And we're going to actually make it, I don't feel like they nailed it. They sprayed on golded it.
I thought you were done. I didn't mean to
you're good. Yeah.
Somebody asked if those were my pool loungers. If you look through our back window, those are the pool loungers we picked up on Facebook Marketplace. The covers are not great. The front side is okay, but the back side's not great. So I
got them anyway because they're teak.
Yeah, we paid $250 for 5 loungers, which is a good deal for teak. So we may just suffer through the covers this year and then get new ones next year, or I might go out there with a hot glue gun. Who knows? Well,
they have a good side and a bad side. Right now, the good side's up, but if we don't fix the bad side on the back, it'll probably just keep tearing, and then they'll all be ruined.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to bring this up close. Actually, well, I'll bring it up close. Hopefully it doesn't mess up the camera. I just did a little bit of gold kind of in the middle here. It's a little golden roll wax. You see that? And I think it turned out pretty good. A little pro tip, if you ever get our wax and it's separated, because this is made with beeswax, which is an all-natural product. It's dark. It'll get light again in a minute. It's made with all-natural beeswax. Beeswax consistency can change from batch to batch because it's made by a bee. So if you ever get it and it's separated, all you have to do is just stir it up, and it's a creamy consistency. It's not a hard wax. You're amazed at how many Easter pieces I find. Well, you're going to be really amazed next because I think it was Joy just came by the shop and brought me some fun stuff that I haven't even unbagged yet, but I saw in the top that there was some Easter stuff, so I thought I would pull it out. You guys can see what she brought me. I hope I got the name right. I think the gal said it was Joy. Got all the bunny stuff. She's been thrifting for me. Some of it I might paint. Some of it I might leave as is.
I haven't even seen that stuff.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. I just kind of saw it in the top.
I'm going to get this clock back together. I might distress it once it's all together because I think I can do that once it's...
Thanks, Leslie. She said that was gorgeous and looks high-end, especially compared to the beginning. Yeah, the beginning was like a weird splatter paint finish. I mean, maybe somebody was just having fun being creative. I don't know. I don't judge anybody for painting something. It's just paint, so I just paint over it. There's a lot of bunnies. Have Zeb parents? No, they're with his brother Ty. They'll be back in a few days. His brother has a like.
Well, we're still going to see them. They're just staying at Ty's house for a couple days.
Yeah, they go. He has like a schedule where he's like 4 on, 4 off, whatever. So they're over there while he's off. We'll see him tonight at Jack's baseball game. Oh, this is like a. I like that one. It's cute. Looks like she got all these at DI, which is one of our favorite thrift stores. Yeah, the colors do look a little dark. It should be right now. It's been going back and forth.
Whoops, I got some Provincial on there.
Look at that cute little one. Some of these are going copper. Some of them I'm going to leave as is. Oh, here's just a cat with a wreath. That's cute. Oh, it's a salt and pepper shaker. I'm not painting these. Look, it's like Christmas salt and pepper shaker. You have like a little Garfield type cat and a little white cat. Those are cute. Okay, so what am I going to paint? I'm going to paint for sure this one. This one I like as is. These are as is. This is an as is. I think these are just cute the way that they are. Debating on this one because I think when I paint it, a lot of the detail will go away. So I don't know if it'll be cuter. What do you think? Paint this one or no?
All right, the navy with the red was a good call. Good job, Jamie.
Thanks.
But someone asked in a video a while back, why does it have the numbers? So they basically used a 24-hour clock. In a 24-hour clock, 13 is 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 24 hours. So it's just the back end of the 24-hour clock.
Oh, I like that so much better than the gray.
Yeah, it's
That's
so
cute.
dark. I got to fix this camera. I don't know what's going on with it, but it's driving me nuts.
Thou shalt not try, Zeb camera. That's cute as is. It's cute as
We're just going to leave it bright like this.
This is cute the way it is, but I also think it could be really cute painted copper.
Okay, hopefully that works. What did we learn? We got to go live at night when it's dim or in the morning when it's dim. Broad daylight.
It's still dark.
I think part of your problem over here is that.
It's still dark.
Yep, still dark. Oh, well.
Oh, no, it's bright. It's bright. It's good. Don't touch it.
I'm not touching it.
Oh, sorry.
I'm grabbing my clock. So I'm going to let this dry a little more out in the sun. And then I will come in and just distress the edges. Because if I do it now, when it's really fresh, it might get gummy, and I don't want it to get gummy.
Yeah, you want it to be dry, and so you also don't want it, you want it to be cool. So if you put it outside to dry, you got to make sure that it's all the way cool too. Like a cement planter for outdoors. Do we have any Provincial paint, Zeb?
Provincial.
I know we grabbed some the other day. Oh, is that Provincial right there?
I'm using Provincial right now.
Okay. Let's try Provincial on that, and then I'll see if I get these. Can I borrow your Provincial?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to need it again in a minute.
I'm going to be real quick. I'm going to be so fast.
We got a lot of it. That's like 3/4 of a pint.
Okay, this is Provincial. It's kind of a dark grayish taupe color. I think it's going to need a few coats, but it's rated for outside. So if somebody wanted to plant this outside, they could. I'm not saying the paint would never chip off over time if it was in extreme weather, but it would be okay on a porch. This one wasn't bad. I just didn't love some of the colors on the flowers, and the eyes looked kind of creepy to me. So when I have creepy eyes, I just paint them. Sometimes it makes them more creepy, but you know, it's worth a shot.
Don't give Jamie the stink eye. She might just paint your eyes.
I'm going to paint your eyes out. So all I have to do to make this look like cement, although I don't know if I have a dry brush, is I'm going to paint 2 coats of Provincial, and then I'll dry brush White Swan on the top. And it'll go from looking ceramic-y to cementy.
All right. I always like to wash the glass. You wouldn't think that the inside of the glass would get dirty, but it always gets like little dust flecks and things on it. So when you got it apart, give it a little scrub.
Well, what's really bad is if you don't wash it, you put it back together, and there's like something on the inside.
Yeah.
It's like
then you got to like take
really
it apart.
Frustrating.
Okay, I'm gonna put this back here for a second. All right, don't bump my glass back here. It's by the dishwasher. And I should have turned this on a minute ago. We'll use this to dust. I'm gonna just put a couple of little beads. It's got some spots on here that look like they're a little high. And I don't want that glass to be like metal on metal. Or glass on metal, I guess I should say.
Chris says, I bet you have a beautiful home. It has pockets of goodness. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to make these. I like it, but I'm just saying it's not everything's perfect. We're DIYers, which means there's a lot of half-finished projects. But we did spend 18 months of our life renovating this part of the house, which is about 1,000 square feet, and then adding on 2,600 square feet in an addition. And we actually have videos of that. A lot of new people haven't gone back, but if you go to YouTube, type in Jamie Ray Vintage Farmhouse.
It has its own playlist.
Has its own playlist. You can find the videos and see us do that. That's true. Laura, that happens to me. She says, even when I wash the glass, something always shows up on the glass after I put it back together. I know. Sometimes I just have to walk away and just make it the best that I possibly can. See if anybody has questions. The clouds are moving or are messing with us. It's slightly windy, so sometimes it's bright in here. It's like a price tag that was ripped off, but edges were on the side. Sometimes it's really cloudy, and then the wind blows them away, and it's bright, and it's messing with our camera.
All right, so 220 is the magic grit.
Or 320.
Well, 220 is the magic grit on like DIY paint, milk paint. 320 is what we like to use on the cottage colors, which is what I have here.
This is going to take multiple coats to get full coverage on this. I could have painted it with like a red first, but I didn't want it to have a lot of texture, so I'm just going to use the cottage, or not the cottage color, the patina in copper. Chrissy, did you message us or did you message Facebook about your subscription issues? You can email info@jamierayvintage.com. Caitlin has a ticket system, so if it's been sent to the right email, she will always respond. But sometimes you have to check your junk mail in case a response goes there. But this is the right email. Caitlin has a ticket system, so that way it stays in there until it's taken care of, so it doesn't get lost. If it's something that you have an issue with Facebook, there's not a lot we can do because Facebook's in charge of that.
Yeah. And good luck getting hold of them.
Facebook is special. I'm not going to say anything about them because they're probably listening to me.
All right, dark wax. I decided I am going to do it.
Is your paint considered like a chalk paint? So
I'd say it's like a mineral paint.
yeah, so the Cottage color is not a chalk paint because it has a built-in sealer. Oh, look at me painting right over that price tag. Not what I wanted to do. But the DIY paint is clay and chalk mixed, mostly clay. To move the bright white towel on this, maybe it won't dim it. We will try it. Yeah, we're still live. Eliza, our daughter's home. You should have went to school today. It was yearbook signing day and she didn't feel like going. Oh, it's not yearbook. Maybe it's just yearbook day at Sky Ridge. This is really shiny. If I had primed this or used DIY paint underneath it, it wouldn't take so much paint. I'm not sure I'm going to like this better copper, but I didn't really love it the way that it was before, so it's worth a try.
You're just winging it over there now.
Just painting all the things.
So once I get this on, I'm going to immediately wipe this back off. If you don't want it to come off as easy, wait a little bit and it'll leave more wax on there.
All right.
And if no one gets this now that it's painted, it's going to go live on my clock wall.
By the rest of his many clocks. Once the clock wall is full, though, we will not be buying any more clocks until the
No,
clocks
I'll
are
wait.
sold.
I'll wait for a little while.
Will Eliza go directly to college? Eliza is going to high school next year.
Yep.
She will be at college eventually, I'm sure.
She's going to be a sophomore in high school. So the way they do the middle schools up here, at least in our school district, is 7th, 8th, and 9th grade are in like a middle school / junior high. And high schools are 10, 11, 12. And grade schools are K through 6th.
Rush in water before it dries completely.
So glad that I dark waxed this because I kind of lost the crackle and it's all back. You're going to get your close up here.
No, Adelia graduated last year. She's been in college for a year and she's going on a mission. Sorry, it's dark again. Oh, now it's really bright. People are going to watch a replay on this and be like, what was going on? Listen, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to heat gun this and keep adding layers of
I'm just going to leave it there, not adjusted. It's kind of bright, but whatever.
Ellen says good luck getting Zeb not to buy a clog. Zeb is pretty good when there's no more room, right? Like you can only make so much room for stuff.
And I got to have variety for people. It just takes the right clock to find the right person.
That is a true story. And I find that the more variety we have, the more people we reach. Like last week, we didn't sell as many books as the week before because we didn't have as many books. And when you're selling unique items, you got to be patient. You got to find the right person. A lot of people are like, well, what sells best for you? Depends on who comes into the shop. There's not a one color fits all type situation. It would be nice if that were the case, but not really. We sell a lot of like the Sweetie Jane color that we used, Americana. Sells well for us, but not always. Just kind of depends. We paint it a lot because it sells a lot, and so we try to have a variety of colors in the shop. Rosie says we have X-ray light now. It's lighting up. I actually like the color that it is now. It's more indicative of the real life color. That dark was not correct. Be careful if you're drying our patinas or the Cottage color because we do have a built-in sealer, which means it will bubble if you don't move your gun. Your heat gun. All right. Get away with 2 coats. I'm also thinking dark wax.
Okay. Time to get the face in here, and then I'll give you the close-up. Get it all together. I do need to do a couple little beads.
I found a bird lighthouse today. That's awesome. A bird lighthouse. Is it like a lighthouse that's a birdhouse or a birdhouse that's a light? Anything with a birdhouse is cool. Pretty much buy every birdhouse we find.
So what I'm doing here is I'm just putting a little bit of hot glue so that it's not glass on metal, because that's how it gets broken when you ship it. So just a little bead to hold it up off that metal.
So I don't think the website charges more than like $39.95 for something this big. We have part of the cost of shipping in the price of the clock. But I think for that size, it'd either be $29 or $39 to ship to Michigan. So not horrible. So you don't have to seal it with your paints. If we're using Cottage color, you don't, because it has a built-in sealer. Or this patina has a built-in sealer.
We've used two different kind of paints today, milk paint and Cottage color.
The DIY paint that you've seen us use a lot, that you do need to put a sealer. The milk paint needs a sealer. The Cottage colors or the patinas do not, because they have a sealer built in. Ooh, lunchbox lady was late. She's putting in a sauce for dinner. What kind of dinner are you making? Yesterday, I actually cooked dinner for I cook, but like something that was from scratch dinner for the first time in a long time. And I made pork with potatoes and carrots, and we had some leftovers for lunch, and it was tasty. I'll show you this up close once it's cool. I don't really want to mess with it too much right now. I'm going to let it cool down, and then I'll dark wax it since I know it's for sure all the way dry. And then I'll show it to you guys up close. There's a little spot that was still wet, and then I painted over and pulled the paint off. Is it okay to add colors to DI wax to tint it? I don't know, because it's a built-in sealer. I know you can do it with the DIY paint, but I've never tried it with Cottage color, so I can't tell you with a surety that that would be a good idea. I mean, you could always try it in a little bit and see if it works, but that's not something I've tried. Ooh, Vicky says she made ham and scalloped potatoes. Scalloped potatoes are Zeb's favorite.
I do love them. Okay. I do love them.
You guys, oh, you can't see it there. I'll put it where you can see it.
All right, I think I got all those tabs on.
Oops, this was still quite wet. This one was shinier than that one. It might take more coats. Oh, Lunchbox Lady is slow cooking barbecue sauce. Now that is dedication when you make your own barbecue sauce.
It all sounds delicious.
You know, I could go for second lunch about now. All right, I am not sure if this is going to look good copper. What do you think, Zim? For sure that one looks good copper, but this one.
You're going to be a lot of copper on that.
Yeah, I might have.
That one might be better.
It looks like Mickey Mouse, and I painted it copper.
That one might be better like a pastel,
I'm
like
just
Americana or
walk
something.
away from it for a little bit. I'm just going to put it in timeout over there because I don't like it. This looks amazing copper, that. It's just such a juvenile face on it that I just don't know that painting it was the best option. All right. Oh, Mary's having spaghetti. Jack likes spaghetti. He filled out this paper about his mom, and it's like, what's your favorite thing your mom does? What's this about your mom? And every question that he answered revolved around he enjoyed when I made dinner.
He's growing. He's hungry all the time.
I may have got a little copper on this.
What?
Eliza, can you make sure that door shuts all the way? Eliza, can you make sure that door shuts all the way? What is the foam glass cleaner? Oh,
Sprayway glass cleaner.
It's probably not like the most eco-friendly stuff in the world, but because it's foaming, I feel like if something's kind of gross, it works well. It's just from Costco. You can buy it on Amazon too. Oh, Shelly's making churros. I've made churros before. Back when we used to keep a deep fryer handy. Chris says they're making chicken, stuffing, and potato casserole. That's that. Anything with stuffing is up Zeb's alley.
Yep. All right, you guys ready?
Are they ready for the grand reveal? Oh, that's so much better. I like that. It's very sophisticated now. And a little of the red still peeking through is good. It's a good undertone.
There we go.
Melissa Jacobson is having taco salad Tuesday. I think we're going to have taco salad Tuesday too because we have leftover taco fixins from Sunday because we always eat tacos on Sunday. And then we have leftover dinner from last night, so it'll be whatever the kids choose to eat.
Let's see if we can get this crackle going.
They can see it coming through.
Can you see that?
So that was just
it got dark. It hates me today. It literally hates me.
It did get dark. I don't know if they'll be able to see it. We need to stop doing close-ups because it's just not working out for us.
Well, we'll make sure to post good pictures of all of these because we're going to have to change the pictures on the listings anyway.
Yep. Your inlay didn't work out. Allison, what did you do? What did you do? Tell me what your problems were, and I'll see if I can diagnose them from... Sometimes I have to see it. Leslie said poor Zeb because he has to keep fixing the camera. He might have to fix it again because he's left it really dark this time. Do all your clocks work? Yes. They work before we ship them. We can't guarantee that things don't slosh around in shipping, but we do make sure they work before they ship them. We don't ship with batteries because we're not supposed to ship batteries.
Yeah, that's a whole other set of regulations.
This, for whatever reason, on the front of this bunny, when I keep painting the subsequent coats, it's like the paint's not sticking because it's so shiny. This bunny might go in timeout too. Vicky says, you ruined me. Pacific is my favorite color. Allison is talking about her inlays. I don't think I put it on enough paint. So with the inlays, it does need to be generous, but not goopy with the paint. And the paint needs to be fairly wet when you insert the inlay. So if the paint's dried out at all, that will also make it have a problem. I suggest if you haven't done inlays before, buy one that has lots of little pieces. That bunny's going away for a minute. Buy one that has lots of little pieces and practice, and then you'll get better. Lunchbox says, I thought the color was set to early TV black and white because it got so dark.
Well, now it's not getting, I need you to scooch over this way and block that.
Oh, you're touching my tush.
So?
Well, what am I supposed to do? All
you got to block that beam of light coming in.
Okay, but.
It's okay. I'll just move over a little. Don't elbow my stuff, all right?
I'll try not to. I got two bunnies in timeout over there. I really just need to let that provincial dry all the way without heat gunning, and it's not enjoying me touching it up. But I want to show them what it looks like with a white dry brush. So I'm in a conundrum. Like, do I keep messing with it, or do I leave it alone like I know I should and finish it later? And you guys are just going to have to trust me that it's going to look good.
I trust you.
All right, can I have the dark wax brush?
Yes.
And I need the rag. or whatever you use to wipe it back with.
Well, I'm wiping this back with that same rag right now.
So this is just going to darken up the copper so it doesn't look so perfect, so it looks a little aged. Also just going to bring out some of the detail, and I'm going to wipe it back so it won't be so dirty looking. I might get one bunny that I like the way it looks painted. Good thing I got a bunch dropped off. Don't bring that close. You're going to mess up the camera.
All right, fine. It's a good call. Okay.
They're going to have to just admire
You're going to have to
afar.
trust me and watch for the pics on the website.
All right, you want to grab all the stuff and we can pan it?
We're not ready to pan.
Oh, what do you
Yeah,
still
I'm not
got
done.
projects to do?
Yeah.
All right, never mind. Just kidding. We're not leaving just yet.
You got to keep working.
Gotta keep working.
Yeah, I got to get this together.
All
I
right.
need another coat of Provincial on it. Just a light coat to touch up the streakies on this. Because I'm going to come over it with some gold. And I'm going to heavy distress it too in just a sec.
All right, I'm not going to come too close, but there you go. That bunny turned out the way I wanted. This bunny is being a disaster. So since Zeb's going to make me stay working, I'll just keep heat gunning it, let it dry, second coat it. Oh, Kathy says she canned 7 quarts of herbs, small potatoes. I haven't canned in
Nice.
since last fall, maybe.
Yeah, about October before we left. We canned a bunch of, well, actually we canned a bunch of tomatoes when we got home because they were ripe. We picked them before we left because we didn't want them to freeze, and then we canned them when we got home.
You guys are asking us for a lot of trust today. No, you'd be like, sorry, we can't come up close. It's ruining the camera. You have to trust us. Oh, I need that when you're done. Maybe by then this will have cooled off and I can paint it and maybe not pull off the... It's weird because
You gotta
the
let it
back
cool off.
has paint. It's fine. That's the front that's being a stinker.
Maybe there's something underneath it that's on there.
Maybe. Maybe.
All right, we're about 5 minutes out. I guess gotta wait for the sun to dry this.
Don't you want to finish your little medallion project there?
Yeah, that's what I'm working on.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the frame for that. Okay, this time it did fine. Didn't ball up like I didn't want it to.
So if you guys want to see this copper, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but look how metallic that is. Like you can really see in the sunlight.
Now you're gonna mess with the camera.
It's already messed with. I can't.
We can't make
Where
it
did
any
you go
worse
with the
than it's already
copper?
been. What? Right here.
Where's my little copper brush? Did you put it in the water?
Listen, I don't know what I did with it. It's probably in the
Don't
water.
be nervous. It doesn't dry that fast. Oh, you washed it all the way out.
Did I?
Yep.
Well, there you go. Okay. The bunny is now provincial. It's going to get a dry brush.
This is a lot of work for this little piece of art that's in here.
Did you paint the paper mat? You probably should have painted that red and then copper.
Well, this is only the second coat. It worked pretty good. Yes, I did paint the paper mat with Pacific.
Lisa's having a Paintapalooza. What are you painting, Lisa? It's best practice to just let this dry without using a heat gun. Just fair warning. Don't try it at home. Do not try
Probably
this
why
at
you're
home.
having to chase it on that bunny.
Yeah, I know. Like, I know how I'm supposed to do things, but doesn't mean I do them the way I'm supposed to do them. We have a little teeny tiny brush that's dry.
Yeah, there's a few of them in there.
This one has like sealer crusted on it, but it should work. Can you give vintage train case petticoat pink? I don't know what she's asking. I'm working on a cutting board I finished up a little bit. You can paint a vintage train case petticoat pink if that's what you're asking. I think she's talking about what she does, what she's doing right now. She said, I'm working on a cutting board. I finished up a little red table and I painted in the new cottage color barn quilt. Barn quilt is a great barn red. And Allison says she loves doing resins in the mold. I love putting resin in the mold because it just looks so crisp. The good news is I'm going to do a white dry brush, so if any of the original white peeks through, it'll look okay. Trying to make this look like stone as best I can. I just really want this base coat to be super dry because I don't want a paint blend. You do not want your paint to be wet when you're dry brushing. I keep finding little peekaboos.
Okay. This is pretty fresh. I'm getting back to a little bit of that gold. Not all the way back, but back to it a little bit.
Let that cool down for a bit.
Do we have the
We've been
golden
live for
rule
long
out?
time. I just want to make sure nobody needs urgent stuff. We're good. What did you ask?
Can you pass me that golden rule? Did you have a brush you were using for it?
Yeah. Looks like some of the gold came through anyways.
Yep.
So you're gonna mix gold and copper?
Yeah, I'm gonna see. Oh, I'm gonna dark wax.
I would
this.
dry brush the copper on it. I wouldn't do gold blacks, but okay.
Don't you stress it. This is coming back. This is coming back too.
Fine. If you don't like it, just put it in timeout with that bunny.
I am gonna like it.
Can you use salt wash in your salt wash in your stuff? Yes, you can use that if you want it to be textured. If you don't want it to be textured, then I would not add
I
it in
haven't
there.
found a paint yet that you can't mix with salt wash.
But you don't. I don't know that the salt wash necessarily makes it look like cement. I mean, it will get the texture of cement, but the look of cement more comes from stuff you paint it with. Yes, I just used a butter knife to mix in my paint.
Every day.
It's 25 cents at the thrift store. Not that worried. Okay. I don't know if this is going to dry brush so well because this brush was crusty, but we'll try. There we go. So this is just going to kind of make it look like cement and bring out some of the details. What you want is your brush to be mostly dry. So you're just hitting the top detailed parts. If you happen to get too much paint, like you're like, oh, that's too much paint, let it dry. You can dry brush the other color back over the top of it and do it again. It's not a big deal. I may have gone a little heavy right there, but I'm not that worried about it. If you wanted to do this, you could just use like white wax, but because I want this to be able to be used outside, I'm using the Cottage color because it is rated for outdoors.
Okay, before I wipe this back, I'm gonna let this go sit out in the sun. It might just soften it more, but it's probably gonna cure it and dry it out.
All right, you guys see my little dry brushed bunny? So it kind of looks like cement. And then here is the copper with the dark wax. So kind of both looks. All right, Redrick's coming home, so he's gonna need a snack.
He'll live.
Are you done with this one? I'll put it.
Yep.
Sorry.
Cody.
The dog's barking.
Cody.
All right, I'm gonna drop a link to jamiereevintage.com. So you guys, if you need any paint products, or the bunnies will be listed later today, as will the pedestals. The clocks and the other stuff are already listed. I just need to update the photos now that we've painted it. But the bunnies and the pedestals I'll list today. I'll even list all the new bunnies because they're not really part of the thrift haul. So the red frame clock has military time, and they just went with the second half of the day.
Yep.
That's
so it's
wise.
like, it's basically 1 through 12. And they just did 13 through 24 on a 24-hour clock.
Joan says that we inspired her to go to the local Goodwill bin store. People are crazy there.
Yeah.
That is true. What kind of paint? So I am using DIY paint in Cottage color. That's mostly what we used. We also used Sweet Pickens milk paint and Sweetie Jane. And then I used the copper patina. This bunny is Cottage color, and I just used Provincial underneath with a dry brush of White Swan. It has a built-in sealer, so this is done. I don't have to seal it, nothing. Once this cures up, you can plan in it and it'll be good to go. And we'll just do a little, look how cute that bunny is on that pedestal. Oh, Caitlin must be on here. She's dropping links to the clocks. Thanks, Caitlin. We're almost done. Jeff's just finishing up his project. That's going to look good with the what's that?
Provincial and gold?
Pacific.
Oh, Pacific, yeah. So I went with a lot of colors, but some of it's just to show you guys how all these colors kind of go together really well.
We designed them to look good.
Can you hand me? I need the clear wax brush. I'll probably have to wash it after this, but
it's got some chips on it, so be careful. I
gotta pull this out.
Put my little pot that we did earlier. I think I'm gonna touch up just the inside of the pot, but that turned out pretty cute. And we've got these candlesticks. This is the bunny that got put in timeout. We'll see if he ever.
Oh, I just broke the brush.
Oh my gosh, we've had that brush forever.
I think that's like its fourth time that I've glued it.
And we can't get those right now, so we're gonna have to glue that back together. Susan, if you just want to paint and not do anything else to it, I would suggest just using any of the Cottage color paint that we carry at jamiereevintage.com.
Because they're just a one step.
If you're worried about bleed through because of the wood tannins underneath, go with a dark color. So Pacific, the Provincial would be a great dark color. Plum Pudding, any of those colors will be
this
really
is
good.
Provincial, or no?
No, this is Crockery.
Where did oh, it's outside.
Provincial's right here under the bunny.
Yeah.
But the darker Cottage colors are going to be your best bet for like paint it, couple coats and done.
Okay, let me go get the other part of the frame. I'm almost there.
Do you want me to get it the frame?
Yeah.
You got get the mat. Make sure that's dry.
The mat is dry.
You want to put the glass back in?
Yeah. Hold on, hold on. I got more to do to that frame.
Oh, well, good, because I got to clean the glass. It's got like a big old chunk of paint on it.
So it has gold wax on it that I haven't wiped off. Now I'm just dark waxing the details here without really dipping. I guess I'm going to have to dip the brush. I ran out of dark wax. Okay, now we're going to pull that back. We did get back to some of the original gold, but it's not like so overwhelming that it's the theme.
Yes, we did paint the mat. We do it a lot. It's cheaper than buying a new mat and
Mats
a good
are
way to
expensive,
recycle.
and then you got to cut them down. Sometimes you cut them wrong and you got to buy more. It's annoying.
Trying to get all the little specks off of here.
All right, I'm ready for that.
All right, hold on.
Did you get the specs?
I think so. Okay, careful. I don't know why I need to tell you careful. You know that.
I have broken a lot of glass. Not that piece, though.
I'm still on the fence about mixing gold and copper, but we'll see what it looks like. What do you guys think?
Hold on.
What?
It's not time yet.
You got a hot, are you committed now? Hot glue it so it doesn't fall out?
Yep.
Robin says she loves the risers. We'll get these listed later today.
Oh, it's great. What are you talking about? I don't know about the copper and the gold.
Gonna mess up that camera. All right, so it looks good together. It's kind of bougie. It's fancy. It's fancy pantsy. All right, you want to show me your clocks one more time? If you need any paint products, JamieRayVintage.com. I'm gonna touch up a little copper here that I screwed up.
Here.
You want me to hold them?
There's some here. Put that on that end over there.
Oh,
Well, I guess I'll have to glue it.
you didn't tell me that. I saw the
It was
whole-
hot glue.
Well, just kidding.
It's fine.
Oh,
that's going to be a mess. Don't stress it.
no, I got it.
If you didn't line that up, it's probably not great. See how
Fine.
it's all big on the top?
Well, you can fix it.
Yep. Okay, hold on. We'll get a pan going here, guys. We'll see if the pan doesn't change colors.
I can't
Crazy.
scroll back to Lunchbox Lady's question now because I'm holding this. But you can email info@JamieRayVintage.com and I will answer it. Okay. We made a giant mess. That's what we did. Oops, it's bright.
It's going to be
There we
bright
go.
anyway. Oh, you can see a little crackle on that clock. Just zooming it in. Everybody's holding their breath. At least Jamie is.
I'm like, is it going to look good close up?
I don't love it.
All
We're
right,
going to
let's-
have to just get you a good picture and we'll put it up on all the socials.
We will get all of these projects finished. I will update the photos, get the things that are new listed at JamieRayVintage.com. If you like this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Jamie Ray Vintage for more.
DIY.
We'll see you on the next episode. Bye, guys.